Last question.
Yeah, I just apologize to the minister to go back to the violence and the crime stuff, but it's important. In the last 48 hours or 72 hours, we've had a woman in the Shoppers Drug Mart stabbed. We had a cancer researcher, well-esteemed, maybe somebody you know, Mayor Tory, that was murdered on Yonge Street. The same assailant was involved with an attack on a woman on Summerhill on Yonge Street. And you know about Michael's Restaurant, and you know about Music Nightclub. And we hear the same response, and this is not a criticism of the chief or yourself, because we understand. And as Nanika said, but there is a sense of, for those of us that do walk out in the streets and talk to people out there, that they are concerned, they're not buying it anymore, that it's just safe. And I wonder two things. The strategy to keep saying that, because we all know that in general terms it's safe for most people, but these are real incidences, innocent people that aren't connected to gangs. There's mental health factors, there's obviously drugs that could go back to that. And Mike McCormick, I'll leave in Ma'am Levy's comments out of it because I think that's not germane to where we're at. Mike McCormick has said it on CP24 and to myself and others that on the weekend during that 14 incident crime spree where stabbings and shootings and homicides, that every car was used during that thing. And I'm not talking about the budget side of it, but just the concern that you must have. And what is the strategy? And I say that one more thing because you, in your media days, we talked about this a lot. The most effective strategy we've seen under Chief Blair was after Danzig Street, where we were upset. And there was a real interesting deployment there. Before that, we had Tavis, which worked a little bit. And so I think what we're looking for, and the reason I'm here today, is more than just the words that we're a safe city, but what, you know, could there be some sort of a strategy that's in play, because people are being hurt.
Okay.
And it's a very serious time.
Well, that's about an 11-part question, Joe, but that's fine. I'm not trying to make fun of it. I'm just saying I'll try to address 3 points that I want to make in response to that. First of all, I will reiterate the fact that this is a safe city. And that is borne out by any of the statistics you look at, notwithstanding the very concerning and deeply troubling events of the last week or so. There are other weeks that we could point to back in the course of this very same year, 2015, where none of those things happened. And so it's deeply troubling to me that those things happened in our city in a short period of time, and that they happened ever at all in any period of time. That's point one. Point two, I mentioned earlier on that I was looking forward to the discussions that would allow us to take more of the police officers we have and have them better deployed by having the discussions that the Police Association is committed to having on things like the shift schedule and the two-person requirement in a car, because that will allow us to have more police officers in more cars, in more neighborhoods, on bikes, on foot, and so on. Right now we do have an issue, I'll call it that, I won't call it a problem, I'll call it an issue, with the deployment of police officers. You could see from the study that came out this week how much time of police officers is taken up on calls that don't have to do with fighting violent crime and dealing with these kinds of incidents, and it would really help us if we had that degree of flexibility. I'll make another comment with respect to the budget, and it's just to say that, again, as a member of the Police Services Board, I was sitting there, and again, I saw my job as one member of that board as to try and achieve balance, which was to make sure the police had the resources they needed, but at the same time to try and find ways in which we can keep the growth in that budget to a reasonable level. And that is the budget that has been brought forward here after a lot of work, which again took the level of increase in spending down from, I think, above 5% originally to somewhere in the mid-2s. And so we'll have a very interesting discussion at the City Council about what is needed to effectively police the city. The final comment I'll make in response to your question is that decisions with respect to what people are deployed where, in what kind of mobilization of the police service to fight these gangs and to fight this kind of crime, including the non-gang related stuff, most of it is gang related, almost every one of those incidents you mentioned is up to the police chief. We do not make those decisions at the Police Services Board, nor do we make them upstairs at City Council. And so I am confident we have a chief who understands that this is a serious problem. I just don't like the use of the word crisis or things that create that air by saying call in the army, because I just think I go back to what I said. I believe I meet probably more people in a daily and weekly cycle than almost anybody in this room. And I can tell you that people are concerned about any of these incidents above none, but that they are still of the view, the vast majority of them, that the city is safe and that we should be redoubling our efforts to keep it safe and to keep it safer. But that I think people would share my view that it's a safe city and we have to take a balanced but resolute, firm approach to dealing with these things, and I look forward to doing anything that the police chief, asks within reason to support him in doing that. But those are his decisions in the end as to how the law is enforced and how we keep the city safe. I'll do anything I can to be of assistance to him. Thank you very much, and Minister, thank you again for coming, and good luck at Queen's Park. Thank you.